The Astronomer is a very small canvas, 45 centimeters by 50 centimeters. It is similar to another, slightly larger painting, The Geographer, now in the Museum of Frankfurt. The figure is the same. The geographer leans over a map, compass in hand. The two pictures remain together for a long time. Their similarity indicates one characteristic of Vermeer's work. Only 34 paintings are known, but in them one can find variations on enigmatic interior scenes. Each canvas has a link with the others. To understand The Astronomer, we must examine it in the light of the rest.
3 early works. The Procuress. Vermeer was 24 years old, influenced by Rembrandt. Diana at her toilet. Christ in the house of Martha and Mary.
Then, Officer and Laughing Girl. A girl asleep. Lady reading at a window.
The Kitchen Maid. Young woman with a water jug.
Girl drinking with a gentleman. A couple with a wine glass.
Young lady with a pearl necklace. A woman weighing gold. Woman in blue reading a letter.
The concert. The music lesson. A girl interrupted at music.
Head of a young woman. The girl with a red hat.
Its attribution to Vermeer is contested.
Head of a young girl.
The lace maker. Lady with a guitar. Lady with a lute.
Lady writing a letter. Lady receiving a letter from her maid. The love letter. Lady writing a letter with her maid.
Young woman sitting at a virginal. Young woman standing at a virginal.
2 landscapes, a street in Delft and a view of Delft.
And 2 allegories. Allegory of the New Testament, allegory of painting.
This artist without a face was thought to have painted himself in the Procuress, following Rembrandt's style of self-portraiture, or elsewhere as a gentleman, music teacher, geographer, or astronomer, just as he may have portrayed his wife or daughters, all tempting hypotheses, but unverifiable. Hints gleaned from the town archives in Delft. He was born there, raised on one side of the market square, then moved to the other after his marriage to Catalina Bolens. She was Catholic, he was Protestant. He may have converted. She bore him 11 children. Vermeer's pictures were apparently set in only 5 different rooms, inspired by those in his own home, if not entirely imagined. The most often depicted had large black and white square floor tiles, the pattern of which the artist seems to have arranged or inverted at whim. A smaller room with a checkered marble floor and an emblazoned window, a parlour with large double windows and walls trimmed with Delftware tiles, a room with more rustic windows and a more ascetic decor. And finally, a small room with double windows as seen in The Geographer and The Astronomer. Most of the interior scenes are set in a corner. The windows and light source to the left, in the background a wall on a plane parallel to the pictures. The floor and part of the ceiling are sometimes visible, but never the exterior. The proportions of these interiors and the artist's perspectives are so precise that one writer was able to draw up plans and determine that Vermeer worked sitting rather close to his subject, his eye about 1.10 meters from the floor. The same author also concluded that the painter must have been between 1.65 meters and 1.70 meters. With the clues yielded by The Astronomer alone, it was possible to reconstruct the furnishings exactly and check the reliability of the light, the shadows, and the proportions. To shift from the setting for The Astronomer to that of The Geographer, a simple change of camera angle and lighting is enough. The same objects can be found in both pictures. The jug, the chair with lion heads, the viola da gamba. All the same adornments, the yellow ermine-trimmed coat, the pearl. often maps on the walls, all genuine maps sold at the time, of which the Dutch were fond for decorating their homes. Some can still be found in libraries throughout Europe and in North America. Another common element, a painting within the painting. Some pictures recur frequently. Vermeer owned a picture by Van Baburen, The Procuress, which he showed in 2 of his paintings, but each time in different dimensions. It is currently at the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. Another picture has been identified as Moses saved from the water, possibly the work of Peter Lely. It appears in The Astronomer, but as a smaller painting. In The Geographer, a navigation chart replaces the Moses picture. In The Astronomer, all the objects play a precise role. On a window pane, the eye detects a stained glass coat of arms typical of Delft houses. The deep square cupboard could belong to a cartographer as well as a painter. A compass, a common instrument used either to measure distances on a map or draw circles. An astrolabe, originally a Moorish instrument used to compute the movement of stars and planets. A globe of the heavens, no imaginary object. A rare specimen can be found at the Naval Museum in Amsterdam. It shows the constellations and signs of the zodiac and their forms inherited from antiquity. The Big Bear, Scorpio, and Cancer. This globe was signed by Geodicus Ondius, famous cartographer of the period, along with Mercator, and it was produced in 1600 at the same time as the Earth's globe, the one Vermeer painted in The Geographer and in Allegory of the New Testament. It is now housed at the Museum of Nuremberg. A dial, probably some sort of astronomic calendar. A book, on the left page a circular shape. On the right page, a few lines of text. With these clues alone, the book was traced to the Leiden Library. It is a treatise of astronomy by Andrian Metius. The edition Vermeer painted was published in 1621. It is slightly different from the 1614 first edition. Finally, the rug. It often occupies a large portion of Vermeer's painting surface. It allowed the painter to arrange folds to produce dark hollows and crests of light. In contrast to the tidy rooms and graceful figures, the heavy, chaotic, almost threatening mass of rug shifts the picture's balance. Vermeer probably didn't have his own studio. He worked by daylight in household rooms. But he combined to his advantage all the lighting possibilities Dutch houses of the period had to offer. Upper or lower windows with transparent or tinted panes, inside or outdoor shutters, stained glass and curtains enabled him to regulate the flow of sunlight. Each room thus became a sort of light trap. The painter sat rather close to the left wall, and the scene is often lit by windows behind him. These windows are reflected in the jug.